So today I'm going to talk about something that as a vegan, I actually haven't thought about that much, which is about, because as a vegan, I think about like factory farming, pigs and cows and chickens and all that, but I haven't given much thought to fish.
You monster.
Not as
Well,
much.
this is the one that people often say, like, I'm vegetarian, but I eat fish. And it's like,
yes.
okay.
There is a word for that.
Yeah, pescatarian.
I'm straight, but I'm exclusively attracted to men as a man.
Yes.
You know?
Also, fish is meat, by the way. I
Yeah.
don't get why people say fish isn't meat.
Yeah, fish isn't meat
People
because we
say-
don't have it's meat. It's a living thing.
It's meat. Anyway. So, recent assessments have called into question how sustainable our current state of fishing and seafood consumption actually is. The most important question of all is whose responsibility is it to make sure that we don't overfish our oceans, cause species of fish to go extinct, and perpetuate the issue of climate change?
It's ours.
That's
It's ours. It's not the fish.
Yes.
I can
Well, yeah, the fish should take some personal responsibility, I think.
stop being
Look
fussed.
after yourselves. Stop being fished. When you see the hook, just go around it. It's
Yeah,
fine.
just don't hook.
Just fine, okay? It's your own fault. I shouldn't say that. Humans consume more than 155 million tons of seafood every single year, which makes up about a third of the total meat consumption worldwide. I think other meats add up to like 350 million tons. However, our consumption of seafood is growing at a faster rate than land-reared animals. Every year, fish consumption goes up by 3.1%. Other types of meat go up by 2.1%.
Wait, meat consumption is oh, there's more people. Never mind.
Yes. Yes, more people are becoming alive, yes. Now, more than half of the Earth's surface area of the ocean is being fished. So, to help us track our fishing habits and the impact they have, the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization, or the FAO, because I'm going to be saying that a lot, so that's the FAO, produces a detailed report every 2 years called the State of World Fisheries and Aquaculture. Shortened, it's SOFIA.
Sophia.
Nice, yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
It's cute. According to last year's report, nearly 2/3 of commercial stocks are classed as sustainable. That is to say that there are enough fish to deliver the maximum sustainable yield, which basically means that the maximum number of fish you can catch equals the number of increase
Yeah.
that have naturally.
You're not going to run out of
through
fish.
reproduction, fish are multiplying at that rate.
Yeah.
And you're just fishing that amount.
You're skimming some off the top.
Yeah, just a little bit, just the excess. You know, you got your investment, and you just take the. Yeah, no. Anyway, it's important to note that the FAO only monitors 75% of the world's annual catches. So the 2/3 is sustainable only refers to half of all global catches. So we can only verify that half of all fish catches are sustainable.
Then say that. Don't say 2/3 of all of the
But they're
ones.
like, according to us and all the ones that we've reported on, it's 2/3.
Now, to be fair,
We didn't
we
do
are
all of
avoiding the
them.
25%,
Yes,
which is the complete worst.
Correct.
You know, totally avoiding those. But
correct.
just say 50%.
Just say 50%. However, the 10 most caught species also happen to be the most sustainable on average. They're more than the average in terms of sustainability. And because of this, the FAO estimates that 78.7% of seafood that ends up at our local supermarket should be deemed as sustainable. Now, I keep putting sustainable in quotations because it's a word that's doing a lot of heavy lifting here. There's an uncomfortably low amount of certainty in some of the stats that the FAO have provided. And I'm going to get into some of the reasons why. Firstly, in the words of Manuel Barrange, not Nigel Farage, Manuel Barrange, who is the Director of Fisheries and Aquaculture Policy and Resources Division, quote, many countries do not have research ships to go out to sea and monitor the stock. This basically means that the margin of error is so large that the fishing of any species can still be deemed as sustainable, even if in reality it's 20% lower than what is required for the maximum sustainable yield. So we could be overfishing by up to 20% and still class that as sustainable.
I think we are overfishing.
That's probably likely, it seems.
Oh no, we can't do the research. I guess we'll just have to assume that it's all okay. And the fishing companies, they're obviously not going to want to. Like they don't really
we
care.
don't have any ships to go out and monitor.
Oh no.
Oh no.
They're all too busy fishing all of the fish.
What
a shame.
I'll just make a note that there are currently, I think, 2.9 million fishing vessels out on the ocean.
just get a couple. Just knock a couple of those off and just make them research ones.
Yeah, just a few. Just a few. A couple for every country, and you'll still have plenty left.
It's like that drill tweet. You know, the one that's like rent $200.
Yeah.
Like water $100. Candles $3,900. Please help me budget. My family is dying.
How will I never do it? I don't know.
Research ships 0. Fishing ships 2.9 million. Please help me. My planet is dying.
Oh, we can't track the fish. How will we do it? So, the FAO has made 3 global commitments to ending the decline of fish stocks. The first was the Code of Conduct for Responsible Fisheries, which was signed by all 193 member states of the FAO in 1995. This was deemed a partial success. During 1974 to 1995, 20% of sustainable fish stocks were then flipped and were deemed unsustainable. So 20% of fish stocks in that 20-year-ish period. Then the Code of Conduct was signed. And since then, in the 25 years since, only 5% of sustainable fish stocks have flipped. In the words of Baran, she said, "We're flattening the curve, but not sufficiently enough."
Oh,
We all know about flattening the curve now,
love
don't
hearing
we?
that. Love hearing that.
We're flattening the curve of fish extinction. The second commitment was the HE biodiversity targets that were signed in 2010. The third was the Sustainable Development Goals that were signed in 2015, both of which were agreed upon by 190 states in the UN. Both of these completely failed. The Sustainable Development Goals strived to end overfishing by 2020, and it has made I've got a quote here, absolutely no impact whatsoever in that time. And the HE targets completely missed all 4 of their main aims. So the other 2 were just complete failures, didn't achieve anything.
Fantastic. Good
Thank
job.
you so much. We also have to consider that the toll that fishing leaves on the environment that the FAO doesn't report on at all, other negative impacts such as that are unaccounted for definitely make it harder to track whether we can count it as sustainable or not. For example, commercial fishing is more likely to accidentally catch non-target species, such as birds, other marine animals, reptiles, etc.
If you just cast if you cast a big net.
Yeah, because birds like to sit.
Of course.
Birds
sit
like
on
to
the
sit
top.
on the surface, or like some of them dive underneath.
Penguins
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
catching a whole bunch of but penguins just look like fish, so it's very
Yeah,
difficult
true.
to tell the difference. No, look, that was a joke. I'm not
Just
talking.
serve them up at the supermarket. It's fine.
You know, this is the thing. In every can of tuna, there's about 5% penguin. Do you know that?
What?
No, look, again, I was joking.
Hurry!
Fallen for it again.
You can't give me stats like that. I get sad.
You don't eat tuna or penguin. It's
Yeah.
fine.
But
Were you
someone
scared?
does.
Like, I've eaten penguin
Oh no,
10 years ago.
No, I was just sad about the penguin.
they're fine. They're fine.
Well, they're not, are they? They're probably.
Oh,
dying out.
stop
They
it.
probably are, to be fair, in the
Yes,
nets.
they are. Let's move
Their
on.
home is melting. Imagine if your home was
My
melting.
home is melting. I live on
No,
the
it's
planet
not.
too.
It's called bycatching. It's when you accidentally catch another animal that you weren't intending. Most of these turn up dead or dying by the time they're thrown back in the ocean.
We caught another bird. It looks like its neck's broken. Back in the ocean
chuck
you
it
go.
back in. And these make up about 10% of the overall catch. Like of all catches, these make up about 10% as of 2014, killing more than 1 million creatures every single year.
Man, this is the thing that bothers me, right? It's like people are like, "Oh no, but we need the fish. We don't need the we don't need the fish.
We don't
You know,
need them.
We don't need them."
This is what I'm going to get into. There's also an issue with discarded fishing equipment. There's an estimated 600,000 to 800,000 tons of gear left adrift in the sea every single year, killing an unknown amount of animals that get trapped or tangled or whatever. Some fishing methods are also incredibly damaging. There's something called bottom trolling, which I have never heard of today. Sounds quite dirty.
Oh, yeah.
It's not good.
Bottom trolling. Isn't that where you like troll the bottom of the ocean and just scrape up everything?
You just basically get a big net, scrape it on the bottom of the sea, pick up whatever you can get. This disrupts and also damages the habitat of many creatures that live down there.
Does it
as well.
really?
It really does, yeah.
Really?
It also pollutes the ocean quite a bit.
That's so odd because I
Yeah.
would have thought that dragging a massive net along the bottom of the seafloor wouldn't have any effect on anything.
I thought it would have been the cleanest way to do it, really.
I would have thought that it would have been totally fine. I mean, in terms of catching this one specific kind of fish that I want to catch, I would have thought that it was the most economical and efficient way to do that. But apparently not.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Weird how that works.
Strange.
A proposed solution was, I guess it was kind of a kind of a solution, but they just wanted to do it because it's also efficient at
Efficient.
getting fish ready for consumption. Aquaculture currently provides 52% of the fish which is currently consumed by humans via fish farms and stuff. However, the fish that they tend to farm at fish farms are some of the ocean's like top predators for fish, so they actually need to import like loads of sardines and shrimps. They need to go into the ocean to catch sardines and shrimps to bring to the fish farms to feed the fish that they're farming. For every kilogram of tuna, you need to provide 20 kilograms of sardines.
This is like what we're doing with cows, where it's like, oh no, there's not enough there's not enough space to feed all the cows, to feed all the people. But wait, what are you feeding to the cows? Oh, you're feeding.
Hang on.
Oh,
Did you say when you're making sardine, which one was it?
tuna, yeah.
So this is where I think the argument breaks down, because like often one of the arguments you'll hear is like, well, not everyone can eat like sustainably, not everyone, and I understand that because there are some things that are more expensive, there are some things that are less accessible, but like sardines and tuna, those are pretty close. They're both fish, they're both edible. They're both cooked in the same way, I assume, or in similar ways. They can both be sold wherever tuna can be sold. Sardines could also be sold. And you're making 20 times less product because you want this specific type of fish rather than this other specific type of fish.
Yes.
That's insane.
It's like the cow with the grains and stuff.
Yeah, I was filming a video about this yesterday, but I'll say it here. The issue with veganism isn't the issue with veganism and eating more sustainably isn't that it's basically the idea is that it is people see it as being more inconvenient to do it than to not do it. So it's not about like, oh, I genuinely can. It's like, oh, this inconvenience is slightly too much. I enjoy tuna, and so I won't go through the minor inconvenience of having a different kind of fish.
I'm gonna have to put in some short-term effort, and that sounds really hard. So
Yeah,
I'm
But
just
tuna
gonna
can
not
just
do it.
go through the minor inconvenience of dying.
True.
So that I can
Yeah.
not have to go through the minor inconvenience of
Yeah,
changing.
that's my favorite argument. Yeah.
Stop
Call that
eating
one out.
fish. It's not like, okay, I know the entire world can't just stop eating fish, but like, we don't need to be fishing this much. Like we don't.
Yeah.
There is whatever argument you make, we can just eat other stuff. It's not like this is what's baffling to me, because it's genuinely like that drill tweet that I mentioned, where it's like you've got this thing that is completely unnecessary, and it's being held up as like, well, what do we do if we can't fish this much? Eat literally anything else,
Yeah.
anything that isn't a fish.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I wanted to leave it. I was gonna ask, whose responsibility is it to get under control, and like what can we do? And I guess we've just mentioned there, eating less fish. As a consumer, you can eat less fish to help, but I don't think the responsibility is on the consumer ultimately.
Yeah, I don't
think the
they
governments
can,
need to be doing better to get this under control. But oh my god, I don't know how they would do that.
I don't think the
I'm not
consumer
smart
can
enough.
really be held fully responsible for.
No.
Because the thing is, consumers will buy like whatever you give them if
Yeah.
it's convenient to them.
Yeah.
So the government should be saying, oh, well, this should be slightly less convenient for like less profitable for companies to produce, and less convenient for consumers because it's better for the world, probably.
Consumers can help a lot,
Yeah,
but I don't think it's their responsibility.
like vote with your wallet by not buying fish, but also
If you can
campaign.
avoid it, yeah.
Yeah.
But don't think that it's all your fault. That's not an excuse to be like, oh, well, if I can't do much, then I won't do anything. Still don't buy it.
Yeah. At least reduce it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, have fish maybe like, as little as you can. But then the thing is, if you reduce your fish and increase your red meat, it's not helping very much. Do you know what I mean? It's like robbing Peter to pay Paul. But yeah, very good story.
Yeah.
Fish are bad, I guess.
That's some interesting reading.
Fish
this
are
week.
bad.
Fish are bad.
Hurry.
Fish are bad.
Fish are fine.
Well, if fish didn't exist to be eaten, we wouldn't be in this situation, would we?
I'm very uncomfortable.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's my story. Thank you so
Fantastic.
much.
Yay!
If you enjoyed that clip, head over to patreon.com/SCI Guys, where you can find the full show. Or you can stay here and catch up on old SCI Guys episodes. Or you can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at SCI Guys Pod to find out when we're doing more live shows.